So it sounds like Lucasfilm is officially moving forward with a Star Wars horror film. Yes, it sounds all but official. Tony Gilroy himself has said that Star Wars is going to be receiving a horror film and that it's being currently worked on at Lucasfilm. Now, this is a rumor that has been circulating for the last couple of years, and even outside of the rumor sphere, this is something that a lot of Star Wars fans have speculated about for a long time, with there being some small elements of horror throughout some of the Star Wars films, and of course with such a iconic and menacing villains such as Darth Vader. This is something that a lot of fans have wanted to see for a while, and it is always in the talks around the Star Wars community. But this is probably the biggest bombshell that we've received regarding a Star Wars horror project in quite some time, if not ever, with somebody who is actually working within Star Wars confirming that it's being worked on behind the scenes. So I'm going to read this quote here from Tony Gilroy, the creator of Andor, who also worked on Rogue One, basically confirming that a horror project is in the works at Lucasfilm. So basically, Tony Gilroy was asked how he wanted to see the Star Wars universe expanded into other genres, and he kind of joked that they should do a 3-camera sitcom Star Wars show or movie, or a horror movie. He then followed this up by saying, quote, "They're doing that. I think they're doing that. I think that's in the works. Yeah." So I know he kind of put a whole lot of yeahs and I think so's, I think they're doing that in there. But again, this is kind of a guy who is really well connected in the behind-the-scenes doings of Star Wars. He probably talks to Kathleen Kennedy quite a bit, Dave Filoni, everybody else involved up there. So even though he seemed a little unsure of himself and what he was saying, you can take that a multitude of different ways. But even through him not being quite sure if he should say it or not, I believe him, especially how we've seen different projects kind of take different forms of Star Wars, kind of taking other creators' visions and bringing them to life with things such as Andor and such as The Acolyte. Whether you like them or not, we all have to agree that they are very different versions of Star Wars, for the better or for the worse. So them going out on a limb and pursuing this horror film does not seem out of the realm of possibility whatsoever, and here we have Tony Gilroy himself basically confirming it. Now, a stance I do see a lot of people take as well is that he continues to riff off on ideas, and even he himself says that he was riffing, saying, oh, let's do a Star Wars sitcom or a horror movie. And then he kind of realizes that he's saying, oh yeah, I think they're actually doing that. So again, this could be 50-50, but I think I do believe him. I mean, am I itching to see a Star Wars horror film? Not necessarily, especially under this current regime that we've got going on where everything is extremely hit or miss. Of course, the little kid in me would love to see a Darth Vader slasher film, but I just don't think that this is the time for it. And realistically, in the back of my head, I know that something like that just wouldn't work and doesn't necessarily belong in the Star Wars universe. But if they're going to go ahead and do it, I'm not going to be the one to stop them. I'll go to see it, I'll review it, and we'll see how it goes. If they want to get experimental, be my guest. But until then, all we really have for confirmation is this quick little Tony Gilroy quip saying that, yeah, I think they're doing a horror movie up at Lucasfilm. I don't know. So that's all we got. I just wanted to put this video out there. I know this happened about a week ago, but I still like to report on stuff just in case people haven't heard it yet, especially something like this. Really interesting. Can get some good discussion going. So on that note, I want to hear what you guys have to say about this news down in the comments below. Do you think Tony Gilroy knows what he's talking about? Yes or no? And do you want to see a Star Wars horror film? Why or why not? And one last question for you if you want to answer it in the comments. What do you think a Star Wars horror film could consist of? Do you want to see a Darth Vader slasher? Do you want to see a whole new villain kind of go on a rampage? Let's hear your theories. Let's hear your ideas. Of course, I'm going to be responding to all of those comments as they come in, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say. Also, while you're at it, make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.